everybody. My dad thinks his podcast is amazing, so please subscribe, give it 5 stars or whatever, and maybe he'll finally stop talking about it. Anyways, welcome to Sobriety.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Ryan. This is Jessica and Toby today.
Is Toby.
And we are all three sober as fuck. Before we get to today's guest, I just want to remind everybody to like, share, subscribe, comment, all the things, especially sharing the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
You can also find it on our website, noon.com. And before we get started, quick trigger warning. We do talk about everything on this podcast. There is no holding back. So addiction, substance abuse, self-harm, grief, loss, mental health.
All the things.
All of, the things that get you in your feels. So please prioritize your mental space. And if for any reason you feel like you can't listen anymore, definitely log off. But if you stick around, we have some good stuff going on today. Who we have today?
Yep. Today, we have someone I've been kind of following for a little while. She's actually one of our meeting hosts on Reframe, which is really cool. And I cannot wait to hear her story. Her name is Khatie Krisztian. Please welcome her to the show.
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Sabrina.
Hey, Khatie. How are you?
It's like, what's that?
Hey, I think Toby's going to be the star of the show today. So, Khatie, I've been so interested in hearing your story for a while now. So you got to tell me, what was it that changed your relationship with alcohol over 3 years ago?
Where do we start? What changed my relationship? A conversation with self that was at least wait until 5 p.m. Just make it till 5 p.m. before you drink. And then I didn't. It was 2. And then it was like 12. And so she went from a sometimes drinker to an everyday drinker to an all-day drinker. Couldn't even wait for 5 p.m. At the time, I owned a boutique near the beach. So a lot of human interaction and a lot of free time to drink. And I'm drinking with my clients. I make jewelry. And so the boutique was based around my jewelry. I'm a silversmith. And that's what led to Reframe 3 years, 2 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So you started, how did it all start as far as like your drinking goes? What age did you start? How did it kind of progress?
Lost my
there?
mom when I was 7. We were in a car accident together with her mom as well. So mom, grandma, they passed. And I was the only survivor. 7 is really young to lose a parent. I mean, any age is awful, but 7 is super duper young. So the memories are really foggy. The first drink was at 14. My dad comes from Romania, and so drinking is very normalized, young age there. Like the 14, 15-year-olds, it's like normal. They're walking around with a beer. How normal this is. Anyway, so dad was almost pro alcohol, like here, have a drink. And so that started at 14. Fast forward to 17, I get in a relationship with someone who's 21 plus, so they can get the stuff for us. He's got a car. Perfect, right? That leads to high school being no prom, no homecoming, no football, no games. So like a half a high school experience because this older man said how things worked, right? Ended that relationship with an abortion because he said, if I can't keep you, well, this is how I'll keep you. That didn't work. Thank you very much. Then we're in college. We're drinking because college drinking. We all know. Yeah, there's nodding. So then there was that. I loved college. I was going for psychology. And how the world works, I was to have a second abortion the same week of finals. And so that looked like dropping out, dealing with that. Then at 20, I moved to Las Vegas because my aunt lives there, my mom's sister. And so Aunt Tanya is going to teach me how to be proper and adult and do all the things, No, no. Instead, what we got was Aunt Tanya was very much abusing substances, many different substances. Her son Jimmy was living in the house with an active heroin addiction. Then her husband, my uncle Mike, rapes me. So I got to get out of that house. Can't stay there. Get an apartment in Vegas, and things are looking up. Got a job, got a dog, new boyfriend. He's the same age as me. Hey, that's better. Things are looking up. Then I get a call from my dad, and my dad does not call me, y'all. Only if the sky is falling. Okay? So he calls while I'm in Vegas. Things are looking up. He calls and he says he doesn't know what to do with my little sister. She's gotten arrested for the second time. Second time? When was the first time? I've never been arrested. What? Yeah, she's already been expelled from one high school, and they're looking at expelling her from the second one. And you're telling me this now? Okay. Got it. And so within less than a week's time, I had packed up my entire apartment. I had given my dogs away. I quit my job, and I was going to drive my little car from Vegas to South Florida to help my sister. There's zero option about it. Like, that's just what I had to do. Moved back into Dad's house, helped Kels get back where she needed to be. Very grateful I did that. Made a lot of friends in Vegas, so it wasn't all bad. One of my friends there, Eric, actually committed murder, which looked like them. The show 2020, flying me to New York for an interview on Eric's murder.
Mm-hmm.
And it really came down to the district attorney almost giving him the death penalty. And because of my testimony, Eric's still alive. Wild. So you're put in places at just the right moment. And yeah, it was hard and it was ugly, but it wasn't all bad. But now we're back in Florida living at Dad's. Didn't drink so bad at Dad's. Life was comfy there. I had some PTSD tendencies, but didn't know what they were then because I wasn't in therapy yet, right? So I'm having the night terrors and anxiety attacks, but I don't really know what's what yet. So I'm going to the yoga, and I'm thinking yoga's going to help fix this stuff with the rape and all this ugliness. And the yoga teacher tells me to get a crystal. And I laughed at her. I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself or somebody else. A rock isn't the solution. Like, you know, a place I can go. So I go and I get the rock anyway, the crystal. And when I tell you, my life changed dramatically the day I got this crystal. I felt differently when I wore it, differently when I didn't have it on. It broke. I had to fix it. It broke again. I had to fix it again. And then that's what started the jewelry situation. I found myself at a crystal mine. I found myself with pounds of crystals. I had to do something with them. At this time, I'm working at a mall job, Lululemon. And my manager says to set up a table with my crystals. I'm like, what would I do that for? These are for me and you and hush hush. But I did it anyway. And life was born. Fast forward, she became that boutique on the beach. 3 years later, it took 3 years from set up a table to a tiny studio, a middle studio, and then a big, big studio. And then at the big studio is where the drinking got the worst. Imagine you signed the lease for the 650 square foot studio. You signed the lease. You're so excited. You're picking colors, vision boards, all that. And then March 2020. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So you're paying the rent. Can't open the doors. making it all pretty and nice, and you don't know when you're gonna be able. Maybe a month, maybe a year. And like Home Depot's closed, so you can't even get the wood you need. It was not it. Like awful. Wouldn't let me out of the lease, so we just wrote it out. Finally got to open in August. Drinking's bad, but it's not every day. In that experience, I learned that I'm not an extrovert. Right? I was using the alcohol to be this people person and hey, hi, how you doing? And boutique owner, lively. I would rather be home on my couch with my dog and a book. I'm happier in peace and quiet, not with the lights and the shiny and the music, I don't regret the boutique at all. It was gorgeous and so much fun, but it was not filling my soul towards the end of that. And so I tried to soothe that with alcohol. Yeah, like I said earlier, it was every day. Couldn't even wait till dinner time. High school reunion was while I had boutique. So I'm 28 years old, and it's our 10-year reunion. And I remember entering. I don't remember leaving. So apparently I had had more than enough. And a friend of mine had called an Uber for me. Multiple friends had helped me into the Uber. And that's how I had gotten home. Don't remember any of that. So that was high school reunion. And a nice little wake up call. Like, this isn't okay. I tell my therapist at the time that I don't like how much I'm drinking. And the therapist says, well, just your awareness is enough, right? Just being aware that you're drinking is excessive, that's enough. You don't need to make any changes. Well, I really don't like that response. So I'm going to get a new therapist.
Yeah.
And I did. So I got a new therapist, and she didn't have much to say about cutting back or quitting, but she was much more encouraging. And I found myself knee deep in a hangover on a Friday the 13th in Tattoo Land. Do you guys know about Friday the 13th? Not really? Anyway, Friday the 13th is a big holiday in Tattoo Land.
Do you mean
big holiday? So
Yes.
it's Friday the 13th.
Okay. Yes.
Did too much, and that was my last day drinking. So 5/14/2022, wake up in bed, ridiculously bad hangover, can't move, and on the phone I'm looking for a day counter. I'm like, let's just look if we can find get through a day, maybe two. We just find a day counter app. There's got to be an app for that, right? Like somebody's made that. That's not a hard ask. And so scrolling, and God is a mysterious force. I land on Reframe. When it's not a day counter, y'all, it is an entire world. Everything around me is different. Internally, externally, what's in my fridge, what I wear, everything is different. Everything is different. The people in my life, how I make money, everything. Name it. It's changed from that day. And even my best friend from 3rd grade, I'm now 32. That's a long math. Even she'll say, I mean, the last 3 years have just been really lucky for you. Maybe. Not luck.
You changed one thing for everything.
And I really was looking for just a day or two, but the neuroscience that's on Reframe just changes the way that you look at alcohol. So I didn't even turn my camera on until day 86. Didn't share for quite some time after that. But the daily readings just did it, guys. Like, it just changes the way you look at it. And so just wanting a day turned into 3 years. I never had a slip.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's such a wild ride.
I mean, but it's all part of,
You know
it's
what I
all
mean?
part of your
It's all part of your
story.
story. It's
I mean,
amazing.
and that's kind of like that. I think that's the thing that a lot of people struggle with is, I mean, you're not grateful for all the things that have
Mhm.
happened to you, but there is this layer of appreciation to some point because all of those things, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever that you went through is what led you to right now.
Yeah.
And you tell this story with such conviction and not from a place of being a victim and not from a place of these are things that happened to me. It's more of a, this is my story. And these are little nuggets about they're who I am.
Mm-hmm.
The trauma and all is part of who you are today and why you are strong today. And let me say, first of all, thank you for being so raw and open with your story because, you know, there are pieces of that story that are, I'm sure at one point, if not now, hard to tell. But you say it with such confidence. And I was noticing just your face and your body language because, you know, not everybody watches the podcast. Some people just listen. And every single part you say it as though like, this is something that happened. And then this is how I dealt with it. And then this is something that happened. And then this is how I dealt with it. And I think a lot of people will hear varying stories from people and be like, oh, well, I'm not as strong as you. Like I couldn't. Well, at the moment, that strength comes with time, with therapy, with sobriety. You know, when those things are happening, you're not just like, uh-oh, and then moving on. And so I just really commend you because we all have a story and, perseverance and hope and love. I mean, I could go on and on about that. And the thing I love about the crystal, is that it is a perfect representation of when you open yourself and your mind up to things, even if you think they're ridiculous, even if you're like, I don't know, but what could it hurt? Opportunities will present themselves. And even though at the time you didn't realize it was necessarily what was leading you into sobriety because, you know, you started drinking even more, again, it was that beginning path to that. And I love that because so many people, they'll say with like meditation or journaling or meetings or crystals or whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so stupid. So when did you really, really notice that your drinking had gotten out of hand? Was it like one moment? I know you said that you were looking for like a day counter, but was there like a specific time that something happened? Was it just like this feeling of, you know, I can't keep doing this? Like when did you really notice that it was too much?
The time when I told myself to wait till 5 and couldn't was like an alarming moment.
Mm-hmm.
Connecting that with how much I was driving after drinking, because I'm drinking at the boutique, but I don't live there. I have to go home. And so those drives were not commendable in any way. Past that, at that moment, I was engaged to someone who cheated on me. And so the drinking definitely got worse with the betrayal. And so needing to come back from that in some way, knowing this alcohol is not helping the situation, not emotionally, not driving wise, not financially, not right. I think that's where we got to like, something's got to change.
Mm-hmm. What did your relationships look like once you decided to stop drinking? So like something that we see is you have drinking buddies, right? Because who wants to drink alone? And then when you do decide to do any sort of like life overhaul, you have people who are very supportive and then some people fall off and that can be really difficult for people too. So what did, like, you were talking about your relationship with your dad, your sister, like what did all of those relationships look like too?
So this is funny. We're going to talk about family, but we're going to talk about friends too. So my best friend Kelsey from 3rd grade, the October before I quit, I woke up, I found Reframe. The October before, she's at boutique and she says to me, well, Katie, I'm going to do Sober October. I think you should do it with me. And the way I cackled, I didn't laugh. I mean, head back, cackled. I was like, an entire month? There's no way. You enjoy. Have fun. Like laughter. So fast forward to the May that we decided enough's enough. I'm thinking I'm going to lose my Kelsey. Like, out of all my people, like, that was my best drinking buddy. We're drinking all the time, all the years before high school, college, after college. I mean, she's been through all of it, right? And so I'm convinced she's the one person that just, we're going to stop talking, you know? And then I think the relationships that are going to get better or deeper are my friends that are in this like yoga world with the crystals and stuff. They're not big drinkers. They drink wine here and there, but they're not big drinkers. And I'm thinking those relationships are going to get so much deeper. Can't wait. Fast forward some months, and I no longer talk to the girls I thought it was going to get deeper with. We don't even text, like zero communication. And then my Kelsey and I are closer than we've ever been. Was just babysitting her cat. I even moved to the street she lives on. Like, it couldn't be better. Now family. At the time I was still drinking, my sister was in my life. I think it was somewhere in like the first 30 days. The first 60 days, it was just in the beginning of like, I was convinced this was a new change and a new beginning and a fresh start, but people around me hadn't been so convinced yet. Like, I'm only 30 days or whatever it was, right? So my sister and I are arguing a bit. She's still in my life. And then we have a big blow up, and it ends up being that she doesn't speak to me for 2 years. We had never gone even a week without speaking. The 2 years of I'm calling, I'm texting, I'm sending photos, songs, I'm trying, and she's just not having it at all. I'm talking to a therapist about it, and the therapist's like, you've sent 26 messages, you need to stop. You need to just give her some space. And I'm like, I can't. So I did, let her be. And some months go by, and she comes back around. At first it was an awkward dinner, a lot of silence, a lot of pauses. But then another dinner and another, and we got better. We got to the point of sleepovers as grown adults. Go us, her calling me when she has a hard day. Sweet. That's very different than you ignoring my 26 messages, right? And then I think the wildest one is my dad, because my dad and I have never been close. He tells me that I remind him too much of my mom. I laugh like her, I talk like her, so we just don't communicate. Unless the sky's falling, then he'll call me to come over and fix it. But now when I go over his house, we can sit and talk about life, and we can laugh. And he tells me stories. I'll even hit a little voice note on my iPhone. Won't tell him it's recording, but just so I can have that for later. The way we couldn't talk about anything but the weather a couple of years ago, and now we're talking about inheritance, his parents, like, never would I have thought. So
yeah, that's beautiful. Those deep conversations are, to me, with families, really what it's all about. And to go back to your friends, I noticed when myself, I kind of similar to you, had this envision of the way things were going to be different. It never works out that way, right? It's like making a plan. You can plan all day, but it never works out that way. And it is funny, though, how, your true friendships really rise to the top. Because as you go through sobriety, you go through these constant level ups, I like to call them. And these people either going to get on the train with you or they're going to get off. And a lot of them get off really quick. once they notice that you're not coming around drinking anymore, things like that. I think that's great the way that relationship with your Kelsey thrived. That's amazing. And then with family, I feel like it can go one or two ways. It can get really good, like yours obviously has. And thank God for therapy, right? I mean, is that like the best thing in the world to guide us through, especially, with your sister and family and stuff like that. But for me, therapy's definitely helped, but it's also helped me set boundaries with certain people, whether that be friends or even family. Did you have to go through something like that as well in sobriety, where you had to like set hard boundaries, like, this isn't doing anything for me anymore. It's, I've got to take care of me. How did that look for you?
Yeah, especially around my time management, boundaries were set.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of books helped when it came to that. The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. What's the one about parents? The something emotionally undeveloped parents being raised by immature emotional parents, something like that. When I tell you that book was groundbreaking, it made me look at all people older than me different. Yes, my dad, my grandpa, but just all people differently. So a lot of books too. And then with boundaries, if you would have told me a year ago that I now live alone in a 2-2 and it's peaceful as peaceful could possibly be, I wouldn't have believed you for a moment. Like how, where? Like she can't do that. She can and she did. And it has pink walls. You can't tell it's pink, but this is pink. So that's big on boundaries because I want to wake up alone, go to sleep alone, make my coffee alone, read my scripture alone, and I love it. Oh, I love it. I dance around room to room. I don't know what the bigger boundary is that, right?
No. That's incredible. And so do you still make jewelry?
I do. I have a jewelry bench. Awesome. That's why it's a 2-2, a bedroom. And then the second is my studio. So it was a public space for 7 years where I rented it commercially. But with this life overhaul, with this level up, it looked like living alone and wanting one rent instead of two. And so I said, instead of having a public studio, this introvert just wants to take her jewelry studio to the apartment. And so that was a debate. Part of it felt like a step back because she started in a spare bedroom and then she became her big 650 square foot. So part of it felt like a step back, but it also feels like a step forward because I can create and complete serenity. It used to be me with a torch and I'm trying to, mold silver and then someone comes in the door. So you stop your project, you go be a people person and then, okay, they're taken care of. Now back to your soldering project. And then it's not just regular retail because people are coming to you for the ghosts in their house and their divorce. And they're coming for a crystal to fix some big, heavy, scary thing, So I found myself absorbing energy, learning how to deal with that. Right?
Yeah. So do you sell like straight online now? Do you ever have little like pop-up events? Like what does that look like?
Both. So mostly online. I like it that way. And I do pop-ups as well. They're fun. And they look a lot different than they used to. I mean, old Khatie would be throwing beers back at these pop-ups, right? And new Khatie comes with fresh flowers and she speaks calmly. She arrives early. It's just quite different, right? It's beautiful. So still some pop-ups. Blessed to live in South Florida. So the weather's what it is and pop up on the beach, a hotel near the beach. There's lots and lots of opportunities for that. But yes, it's mostly online. I used to do a lot of custom work where someone would be like, I want a Larimar, I'm a size 8. I want it to have a flower, right? Something, a lot of customs. But lately it's more what I want to make. And I post that.
Boundaries.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk about leveling up. I mean, you went from, a storefront where, like you said, you would get interrupted all the time while you're trying to do it. Now you get to do it on your own time. Take all your stuff that you've, spent so much love and time on and just go offer it to people where you don't have to work on it. You can actually interact with people now.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hungover when you go. You're not drinking when you go. So you're mentally, physically there to help people out. Like you said, it's the crystal thing. You got into that at one point, didn't you? I know Lily has too. I don't understand it personally, but I know like Lily's tried getting it. I know you understand it, and you'll be able to speak to it better than I can. But I could imagine the people coming to you with, like you said, all these little different issues or whatever, looking to solve something, and you're able to help them with that. I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. That quote, "You're most qualified to help who you used to be."
Yeah.
Right? So I've been qualified to help people who walked through murder, through rape, through suicidal thoughts, through abortion, through a whole slew of things. And what I didn't realize, those interactions at the studio with these heavy things of divorce and ghosts and stuff, that was just preliminary for my role at Reframe.
Right.
That was teaching me how to
now
process that, help people through stuff. Then when they leave, you kind of have it on your chest and you got to yoga, breathe, legs up the wall. You got to regulate. But I was already practicing all of that before for this.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was about to say is, and now you're helping people through Reframe.
Yeah.
Like all of these opportunities that have presented themselves. And to circle back to the crystals, is crystals, manifestation, meditation, prayer, faith, religion, whatever it is that somebody clings to and really uses as a source of love and compassion and understanding. When used properly, it is simply a gateway to allowing yourself to be open and tethered to your most authentic self, right? So when people laugh, like it's not what you see in a movie, right? It's not like you hold a crystal and it's like beaming lights and it's like, it is, if that is the thing that is allowance, then that's working for you. And it's a mineral. It's a naturally derived substance from the earth, and everything that is created holds energy, and energy operates on varying different levels and wavelengths. It goes much deeper than that, but I think on a surface level to understand anything that is allowing you to bridge that gap between where you are and where you want to be. If that works for you through love and compassion, I mean, like, we got to be careful here, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
I always say, what's the difference between meditation and prayer? What's the difference between a crystal and a Bible? I mean, like, and there's so many different, I'm using very like common things here. There isn't.
Yeah.
The thing is there isn't. Well, and it's not whatever works. It's whatever speaks to you. Yeah. It's like having differing taste in music. Like I might be able to go, cause I love, I grew up in musical theater. I love Broadway. I'll be able to go see a Broadway show, or even like in the shower, like get completely swept away by listening to an opera or anything. Whereas yours may be more 80s rock, and it takes you back to that moment. I mean, we know that our senses and using our sensory parts of ourselves, it tethers us to something inside that we can't explain. Does that make sense? Did I go off on a tangent?
Sense. No.
I hope that all of that
makes
makes
total
sense.
sense.
But yeah, like I like crystals. I don't like them. I love them. I like things that are tangible too. So for me, I enjoy having something that I can hold and I can speak into, and I can just visualize the energy that I am putting in and bringing back. And, you can go around with crystals, and a lot of people pay attention to like what they are and what they bring. And that's important. But I always, and I think you noticed this the last store we went to in, was it New Orleans? I always touch them because for me, it's all about how they feel in my hand, the texture, the color. And then once I find one that I'm like, ooh, I really like this, then I go and see what it is, what it does, because I feel like if something's drawing me to that,
right?
Well, it's not about matching. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like not at all what I was going for. But I don't believe that those things are coincidences or accidents. Khatie understands. It's okay. That's all that matters. That's all that matters is that Khatie understands. And I think it's just about being open to those things. Like, I mean, that's why I loved that when she was like, I laughed about the crystal and then I started wearing it or I opened myself up to it and I was like, oh my gosh, a whole new world.
Changed everything for you.
That's amazing. Would you have imagined like 3 years ago, somebody said you're going to be journaling and meditating and doing yoga and running? No. It's the same thing.
I laughed my ass off about that. I mean,
same thing.
It's like, the running part, I used to tell everybody I can't run. I have bad knees.
Mm-hmm. And journaling. You'd be like, I can't write.
I can't fucking write. And now I do it twice a day, every day, literally for the past 26 months. It's crazy.
Because you opened yourself up to it.
I did. Yeah.
And I would say Ryan's equivalent of crystals are his the show The Office. He has like little pictures in there. He has little Michael Scott things. He has little like dolls. That's like his little feel good, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have them around your office. So when you see them, it like reminds you of something. Right? Same. So his crystals are The Office memes.
So do you have a website set up or anything that you sell your stuff on?
Yeah, the website's The Blythe Co., which is also the Instagram, the TikTok, The Blythe Co. BLITHE.
Awesome.
That's amazing. And so you make jewelry. Is it exclusively like necklaces, earrings, bracelets, or do you do like a little bit of everything?
No, her exclusivity is gemstones. So I refuse to make something that doesn't have even a teeny tiny sapphire in the back. Like it has to have some type of stone. Mostly silver, a little bit of gold, but all pieces are welcome. I'll do bracelets, rings, necklaces. Earrings are my least favorite to make just because making them match is agonizing. So you'll find a lot of asymmetrical earrings, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, and we're rocking it because it's asymmetrical. But yeah, I'll make anything. It's definitely like
I love that.
It's meditative. The world disappears. Whatever was taking up space, I don't remember. I'm right here, right now. And then it's also to teach people.
I love that. I got this little kit when we were in New Orleans, and it came with like a crystal and a candle and a little journal and like a little. Our daughter likes to call them little witchy spell, but really it's more of just like a write this down, light this candle, hold this crystal. It's a manifestation kit, essentially. Do you do anything like that where you can send like different crystals and maybe different like explanations on what they are and how to use them?
Yeah. So every single stone is going to come with a little card that I'll say what it is, its energies, where it was derived from, Brazil, Mexico, where it came from. They all come with a little card. And then as far as like a kit or a box would be, on the website you can get a small mystery box or a large mystery box. And that looks like me just connecting with your energy and choosing for you a few pieces of jewelry, a few stones, probably a Palo Santo or a sage. And then I send those out. They're fun to make, especially when I get to do like 10 or 20 at once. And it's like, okay, you get blue. I'm feeling red in this box, That's kind of like a kit situation. And then when I had Big Studio, I had that same exact what you're describing. It would have Palo Santo, a crystal, the instructions for, in a cute little box, But since moving, do you want to see downscaling? Anyway, now we're more concentrated on jewelry, right? Like I used to have tarot cards and shirts and stickers, and it had exploded, and I was offering the makes of 30 different women in the studio. So pottery, it exploded. There's no other word, And so now I'm just like jewelry. I don't want to make a shirt or a candle, just jewelry,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I
Laser
think that
focus.
completely makes sense because
Yeah.
especially when you have a store too, you can mass produce and like put it out, right?
Mhm.
And people can come in and get it. But when you're, and I understand this because I do this for our website, right? Like, I mean, and it's nowhere near to the scale of you. But when you are making to order, you're like, I can't make just like 30 kits and let
That's
them like sit on my shelf and be like, anybody want them?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No.
No. Christmas gift.
Yeah,
Just so you
there
know,
you
for
go.
me, Christmas gift.
Oh yeah,
Christmas gift.
I got to lead Lily to her site and check that out.
Uh-huh.
Well, before we get you out of here, we ask all our guests this question. We want you to think back to some funny moments you had back when you were drinking, and you got to give us some kind of story. If it involves you or someone else peeing themselves, it's even better.
Or a funny drunken story, something that you've done with a crystal, maybe perhaps, because like in my head, I'm thinking like I could imagine back in my drunken days being like, I'm going to put this crystal between my boobs and like wish for weird things when I'm drunk or something like that.
Something funny involving urine or crystals.
Or just
anything.
a funny story.
Or the best friend. I have a soulmate bestie that I would like throw Ryan in front of a bus for. So it could be something like that too.
I mean, that's pretty funny. It's not Kelsey, but my friend Lindsay back in the day, we're out drinking, doing what we shouldn't be doing late night. She vomited on herself and took the shirt off, didn't know what to do then. And so a friend, just being a friend, I'm like, well, I have a hoodie on and a shirt. You take the shirt and I'll wear the hoodie. And the way this person brought up this shirt and this hoodie story over and over and over again, I'm like, you realize you're telling everyone you vomited on. I'm glad we're friends like that. I'm glad I could be there for you in a moment. But you're calling yourself out. Stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be the person to witness it. It's another to actually do the act all the time and then continue to tell the story and telling yourself that you
follow-up
projectile
question.
vomited all over
You know,
yourself.
Right.
And how you
Follow-up
just see it
question.
again? No.
Yeah.
Where did this happen? Was this in, like, did she like puke publicly? Were you like at home?
Publicly
Like,
would have been better. I mean, back of a car, is that like half of public? Boys in the front, because young girls. So we were in the back. And so it was witnessed, this happening. So it's half public, half not public. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wasn't home alone.
Yeah. Oh, in the car is always the worst too.
It
You are
is.
in this confined area.
Right. And the smell. And so then she's crying because she's embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smell and the way it just gets into every little nook and cranny of the car and you can't get it out. Oh, it's so bad.
So bad.
This is not my story, but it's a very snippet to kind of piggyback off of yours. So when my brother was in the height of his like drinking and everything, this was way back when, he had a friend who I could not stand because always just went way too far, right? I mean, just way too far. And we were on our way home and he puked out the window of the car and it went all down the outside of my car, all inside, all on the floorboard, everything. And he was a little bit of like a silver spoon kid. So he woke up the next day thinking he was just going to like trot out of the house and nothing. And I had been waiting for him to wake up and I threw in my keys and he was like, what is this for? I said, you're taking my car to the car wash. And he looked at me and I said, oh yeah, it's been in there fuming all night long for you. I don't care if you pay somebody to do it or you do it yourself, but enjoy the ride there, buddy. And he did. And he was so pissed. He never got back in my car. Mission accomplished.
There you go.
So there you go. I understand.
Well, Khatie, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. I really appreciate it. It was so awesome to get to know you.
Oh, yeah.
So much better, which is great. Your story is just incredible.
And I can't wait for my wonderful husband to buy me a jumbo mega box of crystals for Christmas. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, we're going to be repeat customers.
I can't wait to treat for you. This was such an honor. Thank you for having me. I haven't even done a speaker share. So to put all of this together, verbally recorded, it feels magical. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you
Absolutely.
soon, Khatie. Thank you.
Bye. So
If you love the podcast, which I know you do, please like, subscribe,
and hit that notification bell to get
Boom.
notified every time we post.
That's right. Dropping them, baby. Word.